Hello, my name is Jeff Morgan. I'm from Dallas, Texas. The reason I'm making this video is because I support Matthew Krause in House Bill 93. House Bill 93 is a repeal of insupportability as a ground for divorce. In other words, what he's attempting to do is get rid of no-fault divorce in Texas. A lot of people think, well, what's wrong with no-fault divorce? No-fault divorce is just two people saying, we can't make our marriage work, we just want to be done with it, we're going to split our separate ways, we're going to be happy, everything's going to be fine. People who say this don't realize what no-fault divorce really is. It is not a mutual consent process in most instances. In almost 80% of the instances, one party does not consent to the no-fault divorce or the agreement with the idea that the marriage is insupportable. What is no-fault divorce really? No-fault divorce is a lawsuit in which one party is suing another party. One party is asking the state to step in and to use its power against the other party. So, for example, this is in the state of Texas a divorce citation. The state of Texas, the notice of the respondent. The respondent is the person who's being served, that somebody is now suing for divorce. Here's what it starts off saying. You have been sued. You may employ an attorney. If you or your attorney do not file a written answer with the clerk who issued the citation by 10 a.m. on the Monday next following the expiration 20 days after you were served the citation and petition, a default judgment may be taken against you. No-fault divorce at its essence is a lawsuit, a legal action that one person is taking against another person. And as I said, in the majority of instances, the person who's being served does not want the no-fault divorce. So for those people who think, well, we need to have no-fault divorce because we need to let people get on with their lives, what you're actually saying is you agree with the idea that one person can sue a person against his or her will just because they're married. No-fault divorce is unilateral divorce. It's one person forcing his will or her will on the spouse in many instances. And my question to those who think that no-fault divorce is such a wonderful idea, who is protecting the victims of a no-fault divorce? Why aren't you siding with the victim instead of the victimizer? You would have more rights as a rapist or as a murderer, maybe even as a child molester, than a person going through no-fault divorce. Why? Well, in criminal trials, you are considered innocent until proven guilty. In no-fault divorce, nobody has to prove you guilty of anything. You can just be disposed of, you can have your property seized from you, you can be kicked out of your children's lives, you can lose your house, you can be eventually charged with criminal actions because of this no-fault divorce. But you say there's good intentions behind no-fault divorce. No-fault divorce will keep lawyers out of the process. No-fault divorce will keep tensions from being inflamed. No-fault divorce will keep the costs down. The divorce citation tells you you have been sued. You may employ an attorney. What is the attorney's role? Is the attorney a counselor? Is the attorney one who's going to say, you know what, maybe we should seek reconciliation? There are a few attorneys that do. But there's been an overwhelming assumption that once a person files no-fault divorce, that the marriage is over. There's a study done by William Dowdery and Leah Sears. She was a former Supreme Court justice out of Georgia. He is a family counselor up in Minnesota. And what they found was this. In approximately 40% of the cases, one of the individuals, and sometimes even both of the individuals, felt the marriage could be restored. And yet attorneys say it's over. And what they will do instead is start to jockey for better position for their client. Maybe it's by accusing the husband or the wife of some type of behavior or saying that they're an unfit parent in order to get a an advantage over them when it comes down to child custody issues. In no-fault divorce, the person who is being the defendant is often forced out of his house or her house, often is accused of behavior that he or she has no defense for, that can offer no defense for, because we're saying there's no fault behind it. He or she can be lied to. His or her name can be defamed, and things thought about the person or rumored about the person that just are not true often take place. Well, one of the really bad things about no-fault divorce, if you're looking at no-fault divorce, who profits from the destruction of the family? It's the attorneys. The very attorneys who are there to help you through your time of need. The very attorneys who are there to console you in an act to get more money out of you. The very attorneys who file motions, needless motions, in order to drain your assets, your estate, and to profit from the destruction of a family. The legal system has little concern about whether the couple that appears before the judge can salvage their marriage or not. In multiple studies that have been done, almost 40% of the couples that were engaged in the process of divorce, and not just at the beginning, but deeply in the process, still felt there was an opportunity to save the marriage. And in some instances, in about 11% of the instances, both spouses actually felt that way. Yet the legal system is designed to not to create reconciliation, but to create bitterness and to create strife and accusation. It is not there to help create justice, and it is not there to be your friend. No-fault divorce. It is immoral and it is wrong to be silent and to be neutral on the issue. You have been fooled and duped into thinking that no-fault divorce is a good thing. Sometimes divorce is necessary. But for the people going through the divorce, and for the children who are children of the parents who are getting divorced, it can be a tragic and defining moment in their life. It can be disastrous. Over half of the children of divorce are under 6 years of age. 6 years of age. And they've got to somehow deal with the fact that they either have no father with them or no mother with them. They're going to be in a family that possibly will have multiple fathers and multiple mothers. Or you have a situation where either the mother or the father has to pay exorbitant child support. And that person ends up, in many cases, struggling financially. I know of people that have had to go back and live with their parents. I know of people who have tried to commit suicide, some that have succeeded, but others that have attempted because of the complete turmoil. And yet, the attorneys won't tell you about those people.